This is the Louie T Network.
I'm ready for some football. I don't know about you. Who else could it be but your man Louie? Yeah.
Overtime! So we head to overtime.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to Sunday Night Football Overtime. Washington Redskins at home taking on the Oakland Raiders. Of course, if you're watching this program, you know I'm a Redskins fan and been through a lot of primetime games, a lot of anguish, a lot of heartache, a lot of frustration, man. And I can tell you that this was probably the most gratifying Redskins primetime game I've seen since 2012. This was sheer, unadulterated, unequivocal dominance by this Washington Redskins football team. And I must say, it put a smile on my face as wide as the Grand Canyon. And the one thing I left this game saying to myself about this game was I was upset because the defense deserved a shutout. They didn't deserve to give up 10 points in this game. The defense, the stat sheet reflects dominance. The scoreboard does not. The scoreboard should have said 0 for the Raiders because we made the Raiders look soft tonight. I saw a team out there in silver and black that quit tonight. And that wasn't because they wanted to quit. It was because we made them quit. Now, I'm not going to, I've told you this all day long. And I said this earlier when the Jaguars dominated the Ravens. And I said, I'm not going to take this game and run with it and extrapolate it over the remainder of the season. I'm not going to think the Raiders are going to be a bad team because of this game. It's one game. And like I said earlier for the Ravens, look, be glad it only counts as one. And if you're the Raiders, pick yourself up. Dust yourself off. You got a huge game in the division next week. Put this one in the rear view and move on. You got dominated tonight. It only counts as one. But same thing for the Redskins. Feels good. It's great. You're excited. We're excited. Only counts as one. We got to do it again next time. It's on the road Monday night against a 3-0 team. So we took down one undefeated team. Can we do it again next week? I don't know. That's another conversation for another day. I'm just so elated, so ecstatic, so pleased with what I laid eyes on tonight. And talking to my fellow Redskin fans on the Redskins Report Live on Tuesday night, I said this is going to be a test. And I echoed these sentiments all week long. And I said this is going to be a huge test for our defense. Because we know how good the Oakland Raiders offense can be. They can be explosive, dynamic. I also told you they can drop the football. Mark Cooper does drop the football. I expected Krabs to be a lot more physical and tough. He didn't want none tonight. I'm not going to lie to you. Krabs wanted none tonight. Both of his drops came when he knew he was about to get hit. We folded that Raiders offensive line up like a lawn chair tonight. We didn't even have to blitz. I was so proud of the pass rush. You know, I've been screaming, crying, begging, pleading for pass rush. We did it with 4 tonight. Consistently. Derek Carr was not comfortable. And I told Raiders fans, Marshall Newhouse at right tackle is a mirage. Against good pass rushers, you can't get by with Marshall Newhouse. That's not okay. That's not cool. You saw it tonight. And that's going to continue to be a problem. You thought it was bad tonight? Oh, you're going to have to put 2 on that side against Von Miller next week. Or Von Miller's going to have 4 sacks by himself. Marshall Newhouse is not a starting right tackle in this league. Don't let the Jets or the Tennessee Titans confuse you and convince you otherwise. But you're going to find that out in the long run, that you need to invest in the right tackle. You tried. I know you tried. Matter of fact, the right tackle you drafted, you'll see him next week because he plays for the Denver Broncos. Never worked out, couldn't stay healthy, wasn't good. In any event, welcome to the program. I'm rude, man. I've been sitting here rambling. I'm just so excited. I'm just sitting here rambling. Welcome to Sunday Night Football Overtime. Of course, I'm your set man, Louie T. Thank you for joining me here on this program. If you want to comment on this game and the outcome, use the hashtag LouieTLive to have your comment read at the end of this breakdown. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have a ton of comments, ton of Redskins fans out there. May have a spatter of Raiders fans hang around. Probably won't, but it's all good, man. It's all love at the end of the day. But if you are on Twitter, so am I. In the Lab Room is the Twitter handle. Go ahead and give me a follow. All my social media platforms right there in the corner, scrolling up the screen. So have at it. Knock yourself out. Subscribe to the Louie T Network. Follow me on Twitter. Like the Facebook page. I'm on Instagram. It's me with a Z, Louie T. So give me a shout out there. If you want to donate to this channel, the link is in the description on PayPal. So go ahead and donate. It doesn't matter how big or small. I accept them all, and I appreciate all of your supports out there, all of your viewership. And again, if you can donate, I'd appreciate that as well. But in any event, let's get to the proceedings this evening. This was as good as it gets as a Redskin fan. We don't get treated like this often. We don't get spoiled on national television. It doesn't happen very often for us. So when we get one of these, man, we got to relish in it. We got to enjoy. As my high school coach used to say, celebrate! God damn it. We should have won 27-0. We should have won 30-0. Goddamn D-Hop. I'm telling you, man. I'm one of your biggest fans. You are slowly making me turn on your ass. And I love you, dude. And I don't want to run another kick out of here. Because I know what you're capable of. You're a damn good kicker. You got to stop missing, though, bruh. And these snaps don't be the best. They don't be the best, I know. But you got to stop missing, bruh. Tressway did a beautiful job of getting it down. Laces facing the way they supposed to. Ball tilted just the way you like it. I need you to knock that in, bruh. You gave them great field position. Luckily enough, it didn't matter tonight. It did nothing that they did matter. It was all about the defense tonight. Kirk Cousins was outstanding, and we'll get to him. But let's talk about this defense first. We're going to get to special teams because I'm going to light their ass up. But let's get to this defense because they were dominant tonight. And I talked about this being their biggest challenge of the season thus far. This young NFL season, I said they were okay in week 1. But we weren't sold against the Eagles. Eagles did some good things against us. Wentz escaped a couple of times, made some big plays. But we could tell that they were better. The first thing I said after that game on the R3 was, hey, this defense is better. How much? I don't know, but it's better. Week 2, we go and we do a really good job versus the Rams, but we gave up some yards on the ground. That kind of concerned me. Thought Todd Gurley got into a rhythm as the game wore on. But when we needed plays in that game, the defense stepped up. Whether it was early or late with the Mason Foster pick, the defense got it done. I said, look, this defense is better. It's been confirmed. Now, how much better? We're going to find out next week because that's going to be our biggest test of this young season. And how did we respond? With our best showing in over 5 years defensively. It doesn't get much better than that. And this isn't like the Ravens game last year where we were good defensively. That was a Ravens offense that stunk. Okay? This was a dominant defensive performance against one of the best offenses in all of football. That's what this was. And for that, salute to the fellas. That was beautiful. And as each week passes, I find myself having a bigger and bigger affinity for Greg Minuski. God damn, I love that man. Already, and I was one of the ones saying, why the hell did we hire Greg Minuski? He's been a coordinator before. It hasn't worked. He was a coordinator in San Francisco, coordinator in Indy, and it didn't work in Indy. That's how he got here. I was wrong about Greg Minuski, man. God damn, I was wrong. I like when I'm wrong. God damn it, if it feels this good to be wrong, I don't want to be right. Greg got those boys playing. Our defensive line coach got here from San Francisco, Jim Tomasula. He got those boys playing. Torian Gray, our new defensive backs coach, got those boys playing. But Greg is just keeping it simple, man. Keeping it simple, stupid. Sometimes it's just good to get back to the basics. Joe Barry tried to get cute all the goddamn time, confusing his own damn players. This defense is better. We got better personnel. We got better coaches. But at the end of the day, these guys are going out and executing the calls on the field. How about Monte Nicholson? Damn, was I wrong about him or what? If being wrong feels this good, I don't want to be right. Damn it, Monte Nicholson. Looks like a real player back there, man. Gets the pick to start things off on the right foot. Lights up Crabtree. I ain't seen him since. Nah, I ain't going to be ignorant tonight. No need for that. We already won the game. No need for ignorance. Monte Nicholson was outstanding. P. Boogie, did you see P. Boogie getting down? Get down, get down, get down, get down. Did you see P. Boogie out there getting down? Get down on it. Did you see P. Boogie? That boy, I told you, he done figured it out. Did you see the showstopper on the other side? I talked about both of those boys last week versus the Rams. They done figured it out, man. Junior Gillette getting in, getting pressure. I'm telling you, man, it was good to see the youngins show up tonight. Nicholson, Jonathan Allen with his first career sack, man. Look at him getting in there, along with Matt Ioannidis, who has been one of the revelations of this season. Matt Ioannidis playing his ass off. This was fun. How about Martrell Spate? The young fellas showing up, man. This is fun to watch. And we haven't had good defense on this team in such a long time. Kendall Fuller with a pick. We should have. Everett almost had a pick. Should have had one. Vitamin B should have had one in the end zone. This is fun, man. We don't know how to act because we haven't had this kind of defense or defensive performance. Like, we legit feel like we have a good defense. It's still early. I still have my reservations, but boy, are those reservations starting to dwindle. I'm starting to become confident, and that's scary for me because I don't know what that feels like as a Redskins fan. I don't know what going into a game feeling confident in the defense feels like. I haven't had that. Not since 2005 when the late, great Sean Taylor was on the field with LeVar Arrington on the same defense. I don't know what it feels like to have confidence in my defense since 2005. This felt great, man. And the defense looked great. DJ Swearinger is a true leader. I love watching him get guys lined up. You saw him rock Marshawn Lynch? Beast mode? Beast what? Man, this felt good. Damn, this felt good. Damn, it feels good to be a Redskin fan right now. And it's only one game. But you got to enjoy these because you don't know how many more of these you're going to get. Next week, we could look like straight ass cheeks versus the Kansas City Chiefs. They could bring us right back down to earth, which wouldn't hurt me one bit. You know why? Because at the bye week, if you would have told me 2 weeks ago, after we lost to the Eagles, that we were going to get to the bye at 2-2, I'd have looked you dead in your eyes and said, you a motherfucking lie. Looked you right in your eyes. So to tell me right now that I got a chance at 3-1, with a game to spare, I got a chance to go 3-1 before the bye? Come on, man. You talking to a man that I feel like I done seen my life flash before my eyes and now I got to go out and do good. Because I'm here with a purpose. We got second life in this season, man. Our season was almost dead at 0-2. We 2-1 right now. We playing good football. We look physical on the offensive side, physical on the defensive side. We got to clean these damn turnovers up, and we're going to get to that in a second. But I just had to shower the defense with praises for what they did tonight. This was out of this world, man. This was unlike anything we've seen as Redskins fans over the last decade. Real talk. You can sit here and talk about all these runs we went on, the run we went on in 2015, the run we went in 2007, 05 run. Those were nice. But when's the last time we were actually good? We got a shot to actually be good this season. Like, when's the last time we were 9-3 and were one of the better teams in the league? We got a shot at that. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. But we got a shot at it because we play defense now. When you can score but you don't play defense, you can't be a good team in this league. You can't. It's impossible. Because you can't outscore everybody. But when you play defense, you got a shot every single week. And even the game we lost against Philly, don't let the score fool you. That was 23-17. That was 22-17. With the Redskins with the ball under 2 minutes with a chance to win. Defense kept us in that game. Look at the points. Look at the points. This defense ain't giving it up this year. Should have been a shutout this year. That game should have been a shutout, man. I'm still upset about that, but we're going to move on. Let's get to the offense. I thought this was an excellent game plan by Jay Gruden. The run was not prolific, but he stuck with it. Continued to stay and remain resilient in the run game. Remained balanced. Okay? Chris Thompson is a necessity. I talked about this last week. If you ask me right now after Trent Williams and Kirk Cousins on the offensive side of football, who is the most indispensable player we have, without hesitation, it's Chris Thompson. CT. Scan him. He scanned him tonight. Without a doubt, CT. Without hesitation, CT. He's got 5 touchdowns this year, or is it 4? 4 touchdowns this year. We've scored... We scored 1. We had a defensive touchdown. We had 1 in the Eagles game offensively. We had 2 touchdowns offensively versus the Rams. 3 touchdowns offensively versus the Rams. He scored 2 of those. He scored the only one in the Eagles game. So we had 4 touchdowns. He scored 3 of them. We scored 3 more touchdowns tonight, and he scored 1 of them. Out of our 7 touchdowns we have on the season, offensively, Chris Thompson is responsible for 4 of them. The man outgained the whole entire Oakland Raiders football team by himself tonight. He's a bad, bad man. Glad he's on our side. Kirk Cousins. Let's get to Captain Kirk because he was exactly that tonight. He was a general. Offensive line did a bang-up job. Let's always make sure we give credit to the offensive line because when they don't do a good job, we the first ones to dig in their ass. So when they do a bang-up job, Khalil Mack had 1 sack, and for the most part, Morgan Moses was singled up on his ass the entire night. So I think Momo deserves a damn standing ovation, okay? I'll take just 1. I'll take just 1. The offensive line was outstanding. Long, Sheriff, Momo, even Laval did a hell of a job tonight, and he got beat a couple times. The first sack, the first hit, when Kirk got hit and he threw it on the sideline, and the play that Chris Collinsworth was gushing over, pressure in his face, stepped up, delivered the football. I want to say that was to Terrell Pryor coming back to the rock. That was Laval falling down on his ass, tripping over his own damn feet. But he was solid, rock solid tonight. And Trent is Trent. Like, we don't even worry about Silverback over there at the left side, man. We won't even talk about that dude. He's so good. If we have one guy that has a chance to be a Hall of Famer, it's him. He stays healthy. He's a shoo-in. Dude is locked down over there. At the end of the day, though, Kirk Cousins, with the opportunities, even with pressure in his face, was outstanding tonight. Only 2 incompletions in the first half. I think he finished with like 6 incompletions overall. Well over 300 yards. Most of it to Chris Thompson on dump downs, but I take whatever I can get. He made some gorgeous throws tonight. And you know what I screamed? You know what I screamed? When 18 went up for the rock, came down with it and walked in the end zone. Because a lot of y'all been on that man's back. And I told y'all, be patient. And I was this close. Because I went back and I watched the all 22s and Doxson was open last week. And I went back and I was this close to doing a video on Friday night. I was this close to doing a video on Saturday night that said, Josh Doxson is coming, ... And I had still shots lined up for y'all ass to show y'all that the man was open and he was coming. And Kirk gave him a shot tonight. Dropped the first one on some good coverage, but should have caught it. And I said, Redskins fans going to be talking about that shit after the game. I'm going to have to defend the man after the game after that one. Because I didn't think he was going to get another target after that. And Kirk gave him a shot. Always good to see old friends up to the same no good. D.A. doing the same shit he did when he was in Washington. Getting his ass beat. So that feels good. Feels good to see old friends up to the same old ass tricks. And when 18 went and climbed the ladder and did what he did so often, so prolifically at TCU here with us for the first time, it brought a smile to my face and I stood up out of my chair and I said, get off his back! Get off his back! All y'all out there that been on that man, get off that man back. Get off his sack. Let the man breathe. He's coming. Y'all want immediate results. Stop. Everybody doesn't mature in this league at the same rate. But the dude is a talent. I've even heard people say some of the dumbest shit. We need to trade Josh Doxson. For what? He's in his second season. Do you know how stupid that sounds? To give up on a player in year 2? That's how impatient we've become as people, that we can't even allow a guy to develop 2 years into his career. Good for Josh Doxson, man. The doc was in tonight. Damn it. The doc was in. Love it. Kirk gave him a chance. And the man showed Kirk that if you give me more chances, I can deliver for you. So now I expect Josh Doxson to have more opportunities come next week on Monday night versus Chiefs. I'm expecting more opportunities for 18 as long as he's able to stay healthy. How about VD tonight? Spreading the disease all over the Raiders defense. How about VD? No, not venereal disease. Vernon Davis. No Jordan Reed, no Jay Reed. Remember when no Jay Reed meant this offense was crippled? Now it's no Jay Reed, almost no problem. Look, I'm not sitting here telling you that we don't need Jordan Reed. But it's always nice to know you got a nice little bit of a fallback plan and a safety net in case Jay Reed can't go. Vernon Davis out there breaking dudes off. How about that touch by Kirk on that pass for the touchdown, though? How about the pass to Vernon on the first pass that he caught on the outbreaking route? Kirk was on tonight. This is the guy that we've come to know and love. This is the guy that every Redskin fan that has been in Kirk Cousins' corner, that says Captain Kirk needs to be paid. These are the types of performances that we expect from him. Not the ones we got in the first 2 weeks. Even though that last drive versus the Rams, I think, spilled over into this game. It's all about confidence in this league. Ask any player, especially at the quarterback position. Tom Brady is good because he's confident. He expects to succeed. That's what confidence does. It begets confidence and it builds on top of confidence. More confidence means you play better. You play better means more confidence. It's a vicious and beautiful scripture, flavored delicious cycle. And Kirk Cousins, he's confident right now. Captain Kirk is confident. And when he's confident, he's a dangerous man. That was outstanding. Samaje Perine didn't impress me tonight. He didn't. Mac Brown did. What can Brown do for you? He need more touches, man. When will they see? I don't know what we have to do to get this man more touches. The only mistake Mac Brown made in this game is running out of bounds and stopping the damn clock when he got the first down on that pitch, which would have came back anyway because of the holding penalty. Nonetheless, Mac Brown was outstanding when he got touches. His vision is way better than that of Rob Kelly, who lacks vision right now. And Samaje Perine just seems like he's eager to go nowhere fast. Instead of waiting and allowing things to develop. Seems to lack the patience necessary to maximize the amount of yards on any given play, which is fine. He can get better at that. Patience isn't something that you have to have as an innate trait. You can learn to be more patient as a runner, but there's certain levels of patience that either you have or you don't. Like Joe Mixon has that Le'Veon Bell-esque type patience that you either have or you don't. You can become a better runner in terms of patience, but a lot of guys either are patient or they aren't. Matt Brown is patient. You can see that when he runs the football. You can see him setting up blocks. I want to see Matt Brown get some more touches, man. I think he's earned it. We'll see what happens with Perine. I hope he's okay. He did sustain an injury. That fumble could have been costly. Pissed me off. Because at that point in the game, we had just gotten over the J.C. Ice fumble on the muff punt. We had just gotten over that. We had gotten the points back from that. Okay, we went out and got a field goal, extended it back out to 3-score game, and then he fumbles, and it's like, okay, now the defense got to come back out here, and if they get a touchdown, they right back in this game. Defense came out, forced a field goal. They were outstanding, man. They didn't deserve to give up any points tonight. Pissed off about that. But I think Matt Brown deserves an opportunity. We'll see, because I don't expect Rob Kelly to be back next week, and the bye week's coming up. Why would you even bring Rob Kelly back? You might as well wait till after the bye and bring him back after that if he's ready. Same with Samaje Perine. I don't know the extent of his injury. I don't even know what he injured. Looked like an arm, a wrist, something, maybe his mouth. I don't know. He was holding a bunch of stuff. Saw he had a cut, a laceration on his arm. I don't know what the hell happened. I just know he fumbled the ball. So in any event, the defense was outstanding. The offense, they were outstanding too. Vernon Davis was outstanding. Ryan Grant, he fouled up last week's game with another great performance. This has been 3 good performances by him stacked on top of each other. He was really good in week 1. Didn't have but 1 catch, but it was the biggest catch of the game, arguably, in week 2. And then I thought he was good again this week. J.C. Ice outside of the muff punt. Outstanding on the offensive side of football. Another big play for him. Chris Thompson, what more can I say about CT? I mean, the list goes on and on. Terrell Pryor continues to just be solid. Hasn't been great. Hasn't had a breakout game yet, but he continues to be solid. The offense was great, and the dot was finally in tonight. Get off his back. Get off his sack. Kirk Cousins is a freaking baller. He's a football player. He showed it tonight. Let's get to the special teams quickly before we get to the Raiders side of things. Really disappointed in the special teams tonight. Really pissed me off. D-Hop missed a field goal, which gave the Raiders their best field position of the night up until that point. Now, the defense still came in and erased it, but it didn't matter. Pissed me off. That changed the complexity of the game at the time. Instead of us continuing to pour it on, he allowed the door to slightly stay ajar. And I like slamming the door shut on teams' asses when you get an opportunity. Slam it shut and lock that bastard. Lock it. Lock it up. Lock it up. And we had a shot to do that, and he left the door slightly ajar. Luckily enough for us, the defense continuously slammed the door in the face of the Raiders tonight. But got to be better. That's his second miss in as many weeks. I need it, man. 45, 48, 51, 52. If they send you out there, I need it. I need it. Every single point. Stop leaving points out on the field, man. And then, of course, why does J.C. Ice keep jumping when he's catching the goddamn? Stay on your goddamn feet. Why you keep jumping? Stay on the damn feet, on the ground. Don't make no goddamn sense. Stay on the ground. What are you jumping for? Why are you leaving the ground? It is not necessary. Same damn thing happened in the Eagles game. Why are you jumping? 2 feet planted on the ground, catch the damn ball. Stupid as hell. Why are you jumping? It makes no sense. That changes your vision. In any event, defense cleaned all of that up tonight. Outside of that one, which was a tough spot to be in. You just got off the field. You're dominating this game. And you got to come back on and defend, and you give up the touchdown there. It is what it is. Defense was outstanding. Offense was outstanding. Special teams leaves a lot left to be desired. But at the end of the day, Redskins win the turnover battle, barely. 3-2, and they get the win 27-10 in a dominant performance that the scoreboard doesn't really reflect. Really proud of the fellas tonight. Proud of the effort they turned in. Proud of what they were able to put forth. And maybe I just need to not pick the Redskins every goddamn week, which I'm not going to do because they're games that I think we're supposed to win. But maybe against the teams where I'm kind of on the fence, maybe I just need to not pick my boys. If this is what I have to do, if I have to take one for the team, you know I'm a good soldier. I'm a loyal soldier. I will take an L every single time for my fellas if that means we're going to put up another dub in a performance like this. Sign me up. Let's get to the Raiders side of things. We're going to start with that Raiders offense because that was probably the most disappointing part of what happened with the Raiders tonight was everyone was expecting this Raiders offense to show up and show out. National television, a lot of people don't know what the Raiders are actually doing out there in the Bay. And so this was an opportunity for them to show why a lot of people see them as a threat to the New England Patriots in the AFC. And for them to come out and lay a big, fat, nasty, stinking egg on the offensive side. Look, their defense isn't great. We knew that. But their defense is serviceable. It was the offense that we expected to carry the day and allow the defense to do some creative things like they did last week versus the Jets and blitz and be aggressive and see if they couldn't force the issue. Well, the offense came out early on and set the tone by throwing an interception on the first possession. And the Redskins did a great job in this game of taking advantage of turnovers and turning them into points. 17 of the Redskins' 27 points in this game off of turnovers by the Raiders. We picked Carr off twice. Both of those turned into Redskins touchdowns. And these weren't, oh, Redskins returned it into Raiders territory type picks. These were, hey, we picked the Raiders off, but now we still got to go 67 yards for a touchdown, and we were able to do that twice. But it's a beautiful thing, man. When you can turn the other team over and take advantage and capitalize and turn it into points. And that was really alarming because Derek Carr doesn't throw interceptions. And I talked about heating his ass up and making him uncomfortable. I had a Raiders fan tell me, well, that's the old Derek Carr. That's the Derek Carr in college that if you put pressure on him, that he's going to make a mistake. He didn't do that anymore. Oh, really? He was flustered from the jump in this game. He was flustered from the jump. He made a mistake early, and he didn't wipe the memory bank clean. And then the Redskins, on the next possession, sacked him on 2 straight plays, and that rattled him for the rest of the game. He wasn't the same dude. The run game never got off the ground. Kudos to the Redskins defense for just being ferocious. But I've said this all along. I haven't been that impressed with the Raiders' run game. Like Marshawn Lynch, that aspect of it. I think Jalen Richard might be the best back you got, to be honest with you, in terms of running. He's been the most successful. I mean, he was the one that popped the run tonight. Your biggest gain of the night on the ground, Jalen Richard. And hell, to a certain extent, even when you get Cordero Patterson to rock out of the backfield, he's been more effective than Marshawn Lynch. I think teams understand that when Lynch is in the game, let's gear up to stop him. And the key to him is stop him before he gets going. Redskins were able to do that tonight. So the run game wasn't able to take some of the pressure off of Derek Carr. So it was on his shoulders to go out and ball. And his receivers didn't help him. There were a lot of drops in this game. A ton of drops. Krabs had 2. Cooper had 1. You can't get the offense jump-started when guys aren't helping out the quarterback. The offensive line, haven't seen them look this bad in a long time. Donald Penn had his moments where he was dominated. I already told you. Marshall Newhouse is no one starting right tackle in this league. You're going to find that out as the season progresses. If you thought this was bad, let Von Miller have one-on-one with his ass. That's a holding penalty or a sack waiting to happen. Okay? Let Justin Houston, let Joey Bosa, let Melvin Ingram get a hold of his ass. You think that was bad what we did? They got real pass rushers. The best I got is Junior Gillette. And Junior Gillette was able to force a holding penalty. We were just being physical tonight. We just out-muscled your offensive line. It wasn't guys winning with speed or finesse or spin or a hard outside, back inside, except for Gillette. That was just our dudes taking the fight to your guys and just collapsing the pocket on Derek Carr. How many times he gets sacked where the pocket just engulfed him? Well, all 4 of our rushers just said, to hell with being pretty and cute. We just gonna get physical. Let's get physical, physical. And you're not used to seeing teams do that with Derek Carr and this offensive line. Just get physical and manhandle them up front. That was a little bit of an eye-opening sort of revelation in this game. I didn't expect that. And after the run game didn't work, and after his receivers weren't responding and helping him, the Raiders going 0 for 10 on third. Come on, man. The Raiders don't go 0 for 10 or 0 for 11 on third downs. What are you talking about? Like, this is just an off night. An off night where it started bad. And I honestly do think, real talk, I'm not making any excuses because a lot of teams around the league dealt with this. But I think the reason you saw a lot of upsets, a lot of these players in the locker room were so consumed with what they were going to do during the national anthem. And you could call me crazy. The Steelers went out and laid an egg versus the Bears. They stayed in the locker room during the national anthem. That took a lot of thought and decision-making by those players to decide we're going to stay in the locker room. And after that's over with, you should be able to refocus and get it done. Maybe they weren't able to. Maybe the Raiders spent so much time thinking about how we going to show our solidarity. We want to stay in the locker room, but we can't because of the schedule of Sunday Night Football. So we got to figure out a new way to voice our displeasure with the president, with the injustices around this country. So now we got to figure out, are we going to kneel? Are we going to sit down? What are we going to do? Who going to do what? I thought that played a huge role in them coming out looking flat. Say what you want. I'm not here to make no excuses for nobody. Find a way to get it done. But I think the Raiders really were distracted by that. They did not play their best brand of football tonight. I know the Raiders are better than that, what we saw tonight. Facts. You may not see this Raiders team perform this poorly again the rest of the season. I think they were preoccupied with stuff that didn't have anything to do with what was going on the field before the game, which took away from their focus. They came out flat, and they never were able to turn on the switch. The Redskins came out focused and determined because all week we heard about how good this Raiders offense. Hell, I added fuel to the fire, talking about how good this Raiders offense is and how this was going to be a test for our defense. And they got sick and tired of hearing about it. And the Redskins offense said, well, damn, what about our offense? Well, you haven't been good enough this year to have that kind of attention paid to you. So they wanted to go out and send a message to the rest of the NFC East and hell, the rest of the league, that we're just as good, if not better than the Raiders. Well, we showed we were better than them tonight. And I know the Raiders are better than this. And I don't expect this type of performance from them remainder of the season. This was a poor effort on the part of the Raiders, and they're a better football team than this. But offensively, you can't drop passes. You can't give up pressures. You can't have the run game be non-existent and expect to beat a team on the road on primetime television unless they're really bad. This isn't indicative nor reflective of the Raiders team that I expect to do big things this season. I don't think that this is something that you'll see from them again this year. I don't. That's just my opinion, though. Defensively, they are what they are defensively. They still have holes in their defense. I thought they were better against the run. They still gave up over 100 yards rushing, but we had to work for that tonight. But I love the stick-to-itiveness of Jay Gruden with this run game. No, it wasn't popping for 4 and 5. I think if Matt Brown had gotten in earlier, it might have popped for a little bit more. I thought there were some yards there that could have been had. But for the most part, they did a good job up front of just really corralling our run game, taking on blockers, filling up gaps, and making things happen, making us earn everything we got. Where their weakness is if they're not getting to the quarterback, they can be had in that secondary. That secondary is still weak. Their linebackers out of the backfield, they're young, and they still got a long ways to go. That Chris Thompson first touchdown, defensive breakdown. Nobody goes out in the flats. It's just young players not communicating. That's what happens when you got a young defense. This Raiders defense is relatively young. You're going to have mistakes by young linebackers. You got a bunch of young guys running around out there, especially at the linebacker position. You're going to have mistakes. In the secondary, DA is as good as DA wants to be. We saw how he responded after giving up the big ball to Josh Doxson. He was all over Pryor for the rest of the game. It happens. You're going to get beat in this league. It's how you respond. He responded well. I like Conley. You know how I feel about Conley. I don't even know how many times he got thrown at tonight. I know he gave up the one pass on a third down to Jamison Crowder that resulted in a first down. Other than that, I didn't see much of him. Redskins really went after David Amerson tonight. Went after your linebackers. Went after your safeties in coverage. Picked apart your zone coverage. went after Sean Smith. But all in all, the Raiders have to get after the quarterback. That's why they've been so blitz happy early in this season, because even the Jets had success throwing the football when they had time. You can throw on this Raiders defense. They need to get to the quarterback. Bruce Irvin was a no-show. I told you I wasn't worried about him. He's a non-factor to me. I honestly believe Bruce Irvin is if you got a garbage offensive line, Bruce Irvin is going to eat. If you got a competent left or right tackle, both, which the Redskins do, whoever's blocking Bruce Irvin is going to put him to sleep. Left or right tackle. Both. I have confidence in both my left and right tackle putting Bruce Irvin to sleep every snap. Khalil Mack, different story. So, if you don't get home, and the Raiders have been blitzing Carl Joseph of most of their defensive players, him the most. If you don't hit home, you got to pay. And it was just one of those nights where they got beat on the blitz early in the game, and it forced Ken Norton to be a little bit more conservative. The thing that has to eat you up as a Raiders fan is 3rd and long. You can't give those up. Chris Thompson picked up a 3rd and 8 where the Raiders aren't even playing the sticks. He catches the ball at 6 yards, turns up the field, and he doesn't get touched until he picks up 13 yards. What are you doing? That's just young guys not being aware, and that's those linebackers that I talked about. Young guys making mistakes, and these are the growing pains of young players. Chris Thompson catches a screen on 3rd and 18, 3rd and 23, something crazy like that. And there's not a Raider in sight. Allows the offensive line to go, and that's just lack of film study, because the Redskins have been so predictable on 3rd and 15 or longer this year. 3rd and 13, matter of fact, 3rd and 13 or longer. Anytime we get into a ridiculous 3rd and long situation, we're throwing some type of screen. We've thrown the tunnel screen to Crowder a couple of times. We did it tonight again. And we threw another screen to Chris Thompson. How many times are you going to let the same play beat you? Like, you had to see that on film. I can't explain it. I just thought the Raiders defensively, they didn't get the job done. They didn't get off the field on 3rd downs. They didn't keep the Redskins in 3rd and long. The Redskins are uncomfortable in 3rd and long consistently. I thought the Redskins did a really good job of staying in 3rd and manageable throughout most of the game. Now, the Redskins had a ton of penalties, and that put them in some 3rd and long situations throughout the course of the game, but a lot of that wasn't due to the Raiders and them causing issues. That was the Redskins just being undisciplined and making mistakes, which we got to cut out. Too many mistakes, too many penalties. But the Raiders had us in some situations, and they still couldn't get off the field. Still allowed the Redskins to convert. And so this should be a wake-up call for the Raiders defensively, because you played the Titans, who struggled in week 1. They've since then gotten it together offensively. And the Jets, who aren't a good football team in the first 2 weeks, may have given you false confidence defensively. You got a long way to go still defensively. And I told you that in the first 2 weeks. But it was a better defense. And I still stick by that this is a better defense. The offense just didn't show up tonight. I mean, it's not like you gave up 37 points tonight. You gave up 27 points tonight. You should have gave up 40 points tonight, to be honest, with the way the game was dominated. You only gave up 27 points. But it was the inability of this offense to generate anything that allowed the Redskins to really dominate this game. Dominate time of possession, dominate the pace of this game, dominate yardage, put this defense on the field time and time again. They had to be tired tonight. They said it was a relatively hot night in D.C., 81 degrees at kickoff. Can't keep putting the defense on the field and thinking that they're going to respond. So it's an off night, like I said, for the Raiders, and it happens. As a Redskins fan, hell, as a Raiders fan, over the years, you've seen these before. It's disappointing because you think your team is past these types of games. I get that. I understand. You think you've turned a corner. But let me remind you that you still got a long way to go. Like, a lot of people look at the Raiders like they've arrived, and I've been trying to tell Raiders fans, pump your brakes. You haven't arrived yet. I told you and I challenged you before the season started. Show me what you got. Because my Redskins have been a victim of this the last 2 times they've won the division and made the playoffs. You didn't win the division, but you made the playoffs. And it sucked that Derek Carr got hurt when he did last year. But we haven't been and I'm speaking about my Redskins, haven't been a good team when success has come our way and people start telling us that we're good, and now we have to go out and deliver. Now we got a tougher schedule. Now we got to play real teams. We haven't always responded well to the success that comes with winning. That next year we always falter. And I said, I want to, and the difference between your team and my team is that I think your quarterback is capable of not allowing that to happen to your football team. I think your quarterback is good enough to say that's not going to happen to us. And he was visibly upset tonight, and I like that. I like that fire from Derek Carr. The 4 Carr was upset that things weren't going his way tonight. Snaps coming to him when he wasn't ready. The referee's not giving him a timeout. Guys dropping passes. Guys not blocking. He threw a screen to Seth Roberts that never had a chance because the receiver on that same side never even attempted to make a block. Allowed 2 Redskins to run and clean Seth Roberts' ass up. Mopped his ass up. Carr was upset. He should have been. His team gave a lack of effort. I told you they quit tonight. I watched a team that quit. And he knew it. They didn't have it tonight. And so I want to see how you respond because you got a big one next week. Your 2-0 start can be evaporated and totally erased if you lose next week to Denver. You go from 2-0 to start the season to 0-2. 2-2 just like that. And just like that, your hot start to the season, poof, pang, gone up and thin air and smoke. So next week is a big one. So we're going to see how you respond to this. And the good teams, like the Patriots did, you respond to these types of performances. Patriots got their ass whooped in week 1. What they do, they came out and they gave it to the Saints the next week. You're not playing the Saints next week. You got a divisional rival, family business, big-time football. Those boys are upset. They coming off a loss on the road. So we're going to see which one of these teams has the mental toughness to bounce back after a loss. Let's get to some of y'all comments out there, man. All right. See if we can get back to the beginning of this thing. Hopefully they didn't push down all the comments and I'm able to start at the beginning. All right. I don't think this is the beginning, but we'll see. All right, let's work our way down, man. Callie says, you think the Raiders are screwed? Nah, I don't. I just think it was one bad game for the Raiders. I think that they came out tonight, and I don't think their focus was where it needed to be. I saw a team lacking the focus and the determination that had gotten them to 2-0 to start this season. And I know they didn't think they were going to walk into Washington and just walk out with a win. They respected this Redskins team more than that. So this wasn't a situation like Pittsburgh playing against the Bears where they thought they was just going to show up in Chicago and get a win and they ended up losing. I think this team just wasn't focused. Guys dropping balls. The offensive line not being prepared. I saw a team that lacked focus, and when shit got real, they didn't respond the way that you thought they should have responded. I saw a team that quit. After the Redskins went down and scored with Josh Doxson to start the second half, I saw a team that quit. And if not for the turnovers by the Redskins giving the Raiders prime field position, they would have never scored tonight. They didn't have the heart to score tonight. But they're not screwed. It's just one game. And I think they're going to take this one game. They're going to take their medicine. And they'll go home, lick their wounds. They're going to be much better next week. Will it result in a win? I don't know. But they will be much better next week. I guarantee it. Peter Parker says, the kid out of Michigan State, Nicholson, must have heard your pre-draft series, Lou. The channel is growing greatly. Big ups. Hey, I appreciate it, man. He must have. Because the boy is balling. And I told you, if being wrong feels this good, I don't want to be right. Because Monte Nicholson, he going to mess around and get a nickname, man. He going to mess around and get a nickname soon. Because the young fella is balling, man. We're going to have to get him into a better uniform number 2. But that happens over time. He keep balling. We're going to get him out of that 35. We're going to get him into the 20s and let that young man rumble, young man rumble. But keep balling first, and then we'll talk about getting you into the 20s. You got to earn your way into the 20s. Adrian Hernandez says, did you see Spencer out there running? Man, the whole offensive line was out there running around, but Spencer was pulling. Did you see the reach block, though? Did you see that on Jelly Ellis? Come on, man. Spencer was on his shit tonight, man. I love this offensive line. I do. When they play the way that they're supposed to play, And I was down on them early in the season, but I never, ever lost confidence in them. I was down on them because I know they're better. I've seen this offensive line ball before. So to see the way they started out in the preseason and into the regular season, I was vastly disappointed in them. Because I know they're better. I was down on them. I never once, confidence never wavered in this offensive line. But I was down on them. Because I expect more from them because I know they're one of the best offensive lines in the league. And they showed it tonight. Flash of Thunder says, I'm concerned about Raiders offense on primetime games. You sound like a Redskins fan. Yeah, you guys weren't good against the Texans last year over in Mexico. A game that I thought you should have lost, but you won. I'm trying to think. Have you had any other primetime games other than that? Yeah, the Kansas City game. Was that last year on Thursday? Boy, was that ugly. Yeah, you've had some stinkers on primetime. You sound like us. We've been horrible on primetime. You're going to snap out of it eventually. But it's going to take determination. It's going to take a home game, too. It's going to take a home game. It rarely happens on the road. When you're not good on primetime, it's hard to get it to happen on the road. That's why I feel like this was great for us, because now it gives us confidence to go on the road and not embarrass ourselves next week. We may not win, but we ain't going to embarrass ourselves. Not after this performance. Lionfire says, P. Boogie getting it done, man. I'm loving his maturation, man. The light bulb has come on for the young man. I love it, man. I hate that he batted that ball up. Junior Gillette got to pick that off, man. I was like, come on, let's get this pick, dude. Archangel says, bro, you was a fool for this one. I don't know. I don't know what I said to make you say that, but I'm so proud of the fellas tonight, man. BE says, best I can do is 8-8. Wow, had a bad week to make picks. Cards, please win. Everybody's picks are bad. Don't feel bad. It's going to be a lot of cats below the Mendoza line this week. It's going to be, if you got double digits this week, this means so much more than any week thus far this season. I'm not going to have double digits. I already lost 7 games. All right. And I'm fine with that. I was willing to take the L here. You know what I'm upset about? And I'm not going to do too much talking about my picks because I don't do that here. I do that on Wednesday. I got to grow some balls because I called out at least 2 games that I should have picked the team because I thought they were going to win and I didn't have the balls to do it. So I'm going to start allowing my balls to start hitting the floor, man. I'm going to let my nutsack drag on the floor because I got to let them breathe, man. You got nuts. You feel like a team going to win. Don't talk about it. Be about it. So it was a bad week for everybody, though. Deron Johnson says, congrats on your win. We appreciate it, man. As Redskins fans, we've seen a lot of these go the other way. And I asked Jacksonville, are you starting the trend for the weekend of the home team busting ass on primetime? Let me know. Because I want in. The Jacks said, yeah, that's what we're doing. So if that is a fact, then Arizona, you up next. Do your thing. Martin Kotai says, we didn't even need Jordan Reed. You see Vernon Davis burn a cornerback? I did see Jordan Reed, VD out there doing his thing, man. And we still need Jordan Reed. I don't want anybody to get it twisted, but it's a different offense now that when Jordan Reed is out, we don't look inept. I remember there was a time, when Jordan Reed would be out of the offense and we would look like a shell of ourselves offensively. We looked like we couldn't execute. Teams wouldn't have to respect other guys on the field. And I feel like the offense is so balanced now that you got to respect everybody. Even Ryan Grant can get you, man. Even Ryan Grant can get you. Sleep on him if you want on the 3rd down. Lionfire says, Chris Thompson is straight up our Darren Sproles. It's beautiful to watch, man. I've heard people say that he's the best 3rd down back in the league. I'm starting to really, really believe that. I'm watching all these teams around the league, and I'm saying, it ain't better than CT, man. That dude is nice, but he ain't better than CT. It ain't many in the league that do what he do. I wish he would score on some of these big runs, though. These big plays. He got to stop looking back to see who's trying to catch him and just go. He was never the fastest dude. He's a 4.5 guy. So he was never a blazer. But I just love his quickness, his ability to make dudes miss out in space. And his effectiveness is just alarming, man. I love his ability to get it done out of the backfield. He's awesome. HTTR to the fullest says, I think we found our strong safety. You might be right, man. Monte is looking like the truth over there, man. He's growing on me very quickly. Stormtrooper 2817 says, how much do you think the president's comments distracted the Raiders tonight? It was all we heard from the players before the game on the Raiders side. I told you. I said my piece on that. I really feel like it really impacted this Raiders football team. I don't think they were focused at the task at hand. I think they were more preoccupied with something that had nothing to do with what they had to do out on the football field. I really feel that way. I really feel like this team wasn't focused tonight. And it looked like it on the field. BK Soldier 2010 says, let's hope politics don't ruin this great NFL season. It won't. It won't. This will get run and get played. And I told you, Trump is the biggest troll in the universe. And these NFL players, I don't blame them. I would have felt disrespected too, and I would have felt like I needed to take a stance as well. But they let a troll them. And I told you, earlier today when I did the Jacksonville game, and I did that live broadcast, I said, he's laughing right now because he's getting the attention that he wants. He wants his name in everybody's mouth, and he's laughing because he's a troll, and he's trolling them, and they're allowing him to troll him. And so it's okay. It's all right. He's not going to impact this NFL juggernaut. That's the beauty of it. B3 is almost as happy as Louie T tonight, says Greg Brewer. Hey, look, man, a win's a win's a win. I can't wait to watch that game because I think I might leave that Detroit game, with more respect for the Lions than I will the Falcons. I got to watch it, though. Kerry Lynn says, what are your thoughts on Spencer Long? I think he's a beast. I thought the whole offensive line was outstanding, but Long, his movement skills, I can tell he's healthy again, but his movement skills were never in question. Remember, this was a guy that was a guard at one point, and we moved him over to center because we weren't confident in that position. Everybody wanted him to go back to guard because we think that's where he's more naturally fit. And I thought that was a possibility when we drafted the young kid, Chase Rouillet, out of Wyoming, that maybe Rouillet would start at center and they would finally get Laval out of there. But I think Spencer Long might have shown again tonight and reminded us all of why he's our center and why he's a damn good center. And so Spencer Long was outstanding tonight. So was the rest of the offensive line. Ash 6 says, good win for you guys. Please beat Kansas City next week. LOL. We're going to try, man. We're going to try to go out there and knock those boys off for you and do some dirty work for you. No doubt. Alvin Nelson says, HTTR, we stole one. We didn't steal one, man. This didn't feel like thievery. This feels like we went into the Raiders' house, even though we were home. It felt like we went in and we took something from them. It just feel like we just said, hey, this is ours, man. Give me that. Like the Raiders, I don't know if you ever played snatches in high school. It's the worst game to ever play with anybody because it happens at the wrong time. And it felt like the Raiders, and this is how I used to go in high school. And snatches, for those of you who don't know what it is, it's when you have something and you don't call no snatches. Someone can come up to you and whatever you have, say snatches, and it's theirs. And I just felt like the Redskins went up to the Raiders who were starving. And they had this nice, juicy burger in front of them that they was about to take a bite out of. And they were so excited. They were so hungry. And the Redskins came out of nowhere and said, snatches, give me that. I can tell you there are a number of times after football practice, 2-a-days in the summertime, dead heat of the summer. After practice, you can't wait to get your lips on a drink out of the vending machine, man. You couldn't wait to get your lips around that Gatorade. And you go put your $1.25 in and you get that Gatorade out the machine. And you crack that thing open and you ready to go put your lips on it and somebody come by and say snatches. That's what it felt like we did to the Raiders tonight. Except we didn't just take it from them at the end. They never even got to open their Gatorade. Give me that. That's mine, snatches. I didn't feel like we stole one tonight. I felt like we took it. Mondraw says, HTTR, bro. Sorry if not as active today, but the Lions game got me silent. Your defense looks legit. I know. I'm disappointed because I picked the Lions and I really thought y'all were going to win that game. So I can't wait to see how that whole thing transpired. I obviously have seen the Golden Tate play. That sucks. That's a better throw from Stafford there, and you win the game. But god damn, that defense forced 3 interceptions. I can't wait to watch that game. Bernard543 says, my Raiders did not come out to play tonight. Redskins for sure deserve this one. Kudos to your team, man. Raiders, on the other hand, got their head straight. And I'm assuming the end of that is like bashed in or something to that effect. But yeah, it was just one of those situations. Raiders just, they didn't come out ready to play tonight. You could tell. Ouija HTTR says, I'm so glad that this all happened on primetime. Why? I'm just happy it happened, period. I'm happy it happened on primetime just so we can stop that narrative of this team not performing well. Now, I will say this. We haven't performed well on Thursday or Monday. Now, Sunday, this is the second Sunday night game in a row we done kicked ass at home. So maybe it's not a Sunday problem. Maybe it's a Monday, Thursday problem. So I'm anxious to see what we do come Monday now. Because if we can go out, and even if we don't win, but we're highly competitive with the Chiefs, and we're in that ball game in the fourth quarter with a chance to win, I'm going to go ahead and pronounce this whole primetime thing dead. Dead, I tell you. But we'll see what happens. Adrian Hernandez says, Mac Brown posted on his Instagram, it's all about patience before the game. Give that boy the rock. He waited long enough. Hey, look, man, I like Mac Brown. I thought when he got an opportunity tonight, he made the most of it. I want to see more opportunities for Mac Brown, man. I really do. Rodney Ray says, man, your nicknames and catchphrases for the Redskins players, VD, what can Brown do for you? LOL, crazy, yo. Hey, man, I love these dudes. And when you play, you deserve to get a nickname if you balling out on a consistent basis, man. That's what you do, man. You earn respect. You earn a nickname. And dudes like Monte Nicholson coming in and balling, and DJ Swearinger, all these dudes going to get nicknames soon, man. Like, these dudes are staples of this defense that all of a sudden is starting to look like a real NFL outfit defensively. Feels good, too. Not going to lie to you. All right. Hawk says, Ty was in at left tackle and Trent was at left guard during that 3rd and 19 play. I thought that they brought in Inseki as an extra, like a tight end, like brought him in as an extra tackle. I looked at that play again, and I thought that it was the same alignment in that Inseki was in as an extra tackle. But it might have been Inseki in at tackle and Trent slid in the guard for more athleticism out there on those kickout blocks. I'm going to have to watch it again because I just thought they had an extra lineman in there in Inseki. So I need to go back and watch that play to make sure, because I did remember seeing both of them lined up next to each other, and I just thought that Inseki was in at tight end and checked in as an eligible. And I'll have to go back and watch that. He said, was that designed or was Sean injured on that play? It was designed that way. They probably felt like Inseki was more athletic, could get out there and run better than Sean Laval could. And to get Trent in at guard because he's got to run further on that play, that's what you want. So you want Inseki, who's more athletic than Sean Laval, in at tackle so he doesn't have as far to run. And you want Trent to slide in the guard because he's way more athletic than Laval is. So you get more athleticism, more guys that can get out and run. And then what you see is Trent 20 yards down the field demolishing a corner. And what you see is Spencer Long hauling ass 30 yards down the field as an escort. And what you see is Ty Inseki getting out there and putting one of the kickout blocks to spring Chris Thompson on the run. So it's a beautiful thing when everything comes together like that. It was definitely designed. Ouija HCTR says, I messed up with having Raiders players in fantasy lineups, but I don't mind either taking the L so the team gets the W. Hey, look, man, I will sacrifice for the team, always. I'm a team player, man. I always put the boys first. Dominic Garland says, Skins' 3rd down defense was awesome. It was. It was exceptional tonight. And some of it, too, I thought the Raiders were too conservative on 3rd downs. There were a lot of dump-offs and, screens, and they didn't even try to push the football down the field. Like I said, I just thought this team was just – I felt like they gave up. Like, I thought they could have tried to drive the football down the field. You trying to tell me there were no opportunities to get the football to Cooper and Crabtree down the field? Like, our pressure was good. It wasn't that good where he couldn't drive the football down the field on a 3rd and 8. Instead, dumping it underneath to a back out of the backfield and allowing the Redskins to just come up and rally and tackle and get them off the field. I just felt like the Raiders, they didn't come with their A game tonight. Stormtrooper 2817 says, we haven't seen this type of Carr since 2014. Usually he is very good under pressure. He was just making bad plays all night. And I've seen this from him. Now, he's improved in that department. Trust me. But I remember the pick last year versus Denver. In a game that I thought you should have won versus Denver at home. I think you ended up losing that game like 13-10. And the only touchdown the Broncos scored was on a pick 6 by Chris Harris Jr., excuse me. And it was on a play where the Broncos brought pressure, got the car, he panicked, he threw it, and half of that blame goes to the receiver on that route. But I thought that was Carr just forcing it because he was under duress, and Chris Harris Jr. read his eyes, picked him off, and took him to the crib. And you'll see that from Derek Carr from time to time. Last week, there was a play where the Jets brought pressure, got to him, he threw it up, and it was incomplete. And it showed me that he's still in there. The guy that panics under pressure is still in there. He's still there. You just got to apply that pressure to him. But he's made more plays under duress in blitzes. You go look at his numbers. They're astronomical. When teams blitz him, he usually picks you apart. He knows where to go with the football. But in certain instances where he's not comfortable, he will still revert to old Derek and make a mistake or two. So I just thought the Redskins were fortunate to get that mistake early because we didn't force pressure on that first pick. The man had all day in the pocket. He rolled out and threw it back across his body in the double coverage, and I thought that kind of made him a little uncomfortable, and then you started to see the pressure come from the Redskins, and then I thought he really wasn't comfortable the rest of the game. Kerry Lynn says, thoughts on Matt Ioannidis? He's a beast, honestly, in my opinion. Matt Ioannidis has been one of the biggest revelations for this team defensively this season. I went back and watched the all-22s of the Rams game. He was phenomenal in that game, man. Gosh, he was running. He's more athletic, and I liked him coming out of Temple. And I think he's in better shape now than he was last year. He's physical. He can get in the backfield. Him and Jonathan Allen combined on another sack today. Ioannidis is playing at a really high level, man. And you want to know why this defense is stopping the run, why this defense is being more effective, because now all of a sudden when these edge rushers come up the field, you can't just step up in the pocket because Allen and Ioannidis are doing a really good job, especially Ioannidis, of collapsing the pocket and creating havoc up front. Ioannidis has been outstanding, man. One of the stars of that defensive line in this young season thus far. Colton Campbell says, who the hell is getting 10 wins this week? I don't know. That's a good-ass question. I hope nobody. I really hope nobody gets 10 because I can't get 10. So I'm just being selfish. But somebody's going to get 10 watts. Somebody was crazy enough to pick Buffalo and Jacksonville and still pick Atlanta and still make some smart picks. Somebody's going to get 10 on the dot. I don't think anybody's getting 11 plus. Somebody's going to go 10-6. Watch what I say. Mondraw says, regarding the Steelers' loss, it's curious that it's not the first time a team focusing on the national anthem dropped an egg. I just feel like they were thoroughly outplayed in their game versus the Bears. I thought a lot of teams came out and allowed that distraction to really hamper them in their performance. But the Steelers, unlike the Raiders, who had looked dominant in their first two performances, the Steelers didn't look dominant in either one of their first two games. They just outplayed the other team and did enough to win. Even without Sam Bradford last week, they only scored like 23 points and won like 23-9. Like, they didn't dominate that game. They were better, but it wasn't dominant. They didn't dominate the Browns in week 1. They won by 3, 21-18. They didn't dominate that game either. So they haven't been dominant all year. I'm still waiting on the Steelers, the team that I think has Super Bowl potential to show up. They haven't showed up yet. The Mister says, congrats on the win, but let's be honest, the Raiders are only as good as their offensive line. Carr had 2 quick decisions, mistakes, quick decisions, and wasn't ready, and their D-line is still terrible. Those are all facts. This offensive line has to be the catalyst for that offense to succeed. Derek Carr needs time, and they need to open up holes in the run game. They did none of that tonight, and your end result is what you saw on the football field. Those are all facts. I can't deny any of that. And that defensive line isn't terrible. Now, that is the only thing that I disagree with. Their defensive line isn't terrible. They're just not great. Young football players on that defensive line, they're still figuring some things out. I think they're better up front defensively than they were a season ago. I'll say that. Jonathan Lynch says, what do you think is a good game plan against KC next week? I'm going to enjoy this one. We'll talk about Kansas City come Tuesday night, man. Enjoy this one. Celebrate. Kerry Lynn says, thoughts on Matt Ioannidis. I already talked about that. And let's see. Next comment, Andre P. Musgrove says, CT versus Kareem Hunt next week. Two of the best third down all-around backs so far this year. Going to be fun to watch, man. Absolutely. I love Kareem Hunt, man. And he had another 100-yard rushing game again this week. The dude is just taking the league by storm. And every year it seems like we see one of these young rookie running backs. Last year we had two in Jordan Howard and Ezekiel Elliott. This year, Kareem Hunt seems to be in a class by himself at the running back position. I guess Dalvin Cook would be the other guy that's trying to keep pace with him right now. But Kareem Hunt is next level right now as a rookie running back for that Chiefs football team. So that's definitely going to be fun to watch. Cloud says, yo, snatches used to be a vicious game. No doubt, man. I hated that with a passion. Bringing back memories. Kerry Lynn says, for that play, reports say Laval was having helmet issues. That's why Ty Nsekhe was in. Okay. I thought it was a good play by the Redskins to put in Nsekhe. Might have been a giveaway, too. So, I don't know. It sounds about right. I thought it was planned that they put Nsekhe in there and move Trent to guard because the guard has more space to cover on that play. Who better than Trent Williams to having to cover the most space and get out there on that block? And the guy that's one of the most athletic, if not the most athletic offensive lineman in the league. Why not put him at guard where he's got further to run because you know he's going to get there? Paris Holland says, who knew that McNuskey, Tomsula, and Gray would make this defense respectable? And look, better players. That's number one. Without the horses, it doesn't matter who you got coaching them up. But, yes, those guys have made a dramatic difference this season on this defense. And it's not even comparable to the nonsense that was going on last year. We are light years better because of the coaches that we have on this staff. And it's amazing to see what good coaching can do. I mean, the silly mistakes that we would make, the same mistakes the Raiders made on third down, we used to make last year and the year before last, where we would drop deeper than the sticks on 3rd and 8. We would drop to 13 and allow a guy to catch a 6-yard pass, and we wouldn't be able to rally up in time and give up a first down like the Raiders were doing. Just dumb stuff that teams that are young and don't know any better do. But now McNuskey has these boys coached up. They're pattern matching in zones better. They're not giving up any freebies. We used to play dumb football like, oh, this is my zone. I got to stay here. No. Pattern match until he exits your zone. Don't let him, well, he's not in my zone, so I don't need to run with him anymore. Come on, be a football player. These guys are football players now, man. This defense is running around, making plays, hitting guys. It's fun to watch. Diego Barco says, it would be nice to play snatches with Dallas this year. I mean, if we could stop Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott like we did the Raiders, let's get the win next week first. And it's a long ways away, that Dallas game, man. I'm taking it 1 week at a time, and I'm going to enjoy the win tonight. Like I said before, guys, celebrate! Blackbird Blitz says, Skins didn't steal anything. They saw the Raiders hadn't played anyone. Skins got a FISA warrant, a FISA warrant, kicked the door in, and found evidence of an overrated team. I won't take it that far. That sounds good, though. I like that. I won't take it that far. All right. I don't think the Raiders are overrated. I just think they didn't come prepared tonight. I thought their mind was somewhere else. And the Redskins took full advantage of that, and I love it. If you want to come in and give us an advantage, we'll take it every single day of the week. But we didn't steal anything. I agree with that. I made that comment earlier. We didn't steal anything. We took this game. We didn't steal anything. in any event, that is it, man. I appreciate all you guys joining me tonight on this program. It's been fun, especially if you're a Redskins fan. Thank all the Raiders fans for joining us. That's respect, man. Definitely respect if you're a Raiders fan joining us tonight on the program, because it could have been easy to check out after a game like that, and for you to stick through it and chop it up with us, man, that's definitely respect. And I appreciate that. And so it's a great win for the Redskins, man. Long time coming on primetime television. Got to do it again next week on Monday night this time. It'd be nice if we could go on the road and get a big one. Arrowhead is such a tough place to play. I respect the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll talk about that. I'm not worried about the Chiefs right now. I'm so excited about what the Redskins were able to do tonight. I just want to take this in and enjoy this dub. I'm so amped and wired. I may watch another game and break it down tonight. I'm not even sleepy right now. So it is what it is. This was fun. And the biggest takeaway of this game is this defense is legit. Like, I don't know how much more dominant you could be in a football game than the defense was tonight. And again, sans for the turnovers, the Raiders don't score in this game at all. I don't think they ever crossed midfield on their own merit tonight. Not once. They were 0 of 11 on third downs. Think about that for a second. Man, that was dominant. Proud of the fellas, man. Couldn't be more prouder. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here on the Louie T Network. Come back and join us. I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. Redskins get the dominant dub, 27-10 over the Oakland Raiders. Both teams leave this game at 2-1, feeling two totally different ways. Redskins on a high note, heading into Arrowhead on a Monday night next week. Raiders, big game versus Denver next week. And what I feel like is a must-win for both of those teams. Not necessarily in terms of the grand scheme of your season, and but it's a big divisional game, and you're trying to keep pace with Kansas City. Don't rely on us to take care of your dirty work. We're going to go out there and give it a run, but I would not advise you on relying on us to go to Arrowhead and get a W. So in that event, you need to make sure that if the Chiefs take care of business next week versus us, and go to 4-0, that you're at 3-1. Saying, hey, when you slip up, we right here. We ain't going anywhere. We right here. So you need to be right there. And in case we get them boys and we clip them in Kansas City, take their arrows and break them in half, toss them on the ground, and you win and you go to 3-1, then you right there tied for first place. So all I'm saying is that's a big one if you're the Raiders. So put this one in the rear view. Put it on the back burner. Get your mind right. Because I don't think your mind was right tonight. You need to wash your face and get your mind right if you're the Raiders, and gear up for a big one next week versus the Denver Broncos. Both of y'all coming off of road losses. Both of y'all need it in the worst way right after a long day next week. In any event, I'm your man Louie T signing off. It's been real. I thank everybody for joining me tonight. That was a hell of a lot of fun, guys. Hell of a job by the Redskins, defense, offense, special teams. Get your shit together. JC Ice, get your shit together, man. But in any event, hail to our beloved Redskins. I see you guys tomorrow all day long. Lock down coverage. See you then.